Hello, happy Mother's Day, everybody. NTC, welcome, welcome. Well, today's Mother's Day. I wanted to bring in some information about Mother's Day. The origins of Mother's Day goes back to the era of the ancient Greeks and the Romans, but the roots of Mother's Day history can also be traced to the United Kingdom, where a Mothering Sunday was celebrated. Today, Mother's Day is celebrated across 46 countries on different dates. Thanks to the hard work of the pioneering women of their times, Julia Ward Howe and Anna Jarvis, Mother's Day came into existence here in the United States. The earliest history of Mother's Day dates back to the ancient annual spring festivals. The Greeks dedicated the day to the maternal goddesses. Now, the idea of the official celebration of Mother's Day in the United States was first suggested by Julia Ward Howe in 1872, an activist, a writer, and a poet. Julia shot to fame with her famous Civil War song, Battle Hymn of the Republic. And one of my favorite renditions of that is Whitney Houston. And I have several. Julia Ward Howe started her own Mother's Day on June 2nd. That was her wish, and wanted it dedicated to peace. As a part of her stance to the anti-war movement at the time. That's what she wanted for the Mother's Day dedication. But it was Anna Jarvis, who's recognized as the founders of Mother's Day in the United States. Anna Jarvis was called the Mother of Mother's Day, a deserving title for the lady who worked so hard at honoring all mothers. Anna Jarvis got the inspiration of celebrating Mother's Day from her own mother, Mrs. Anna Marie Reeves Jarvis, an activist and a social worker herself. Mrs. Jarvis used to express her desire that someday someone must honor all mothers, living and passed on, and pay tribute to the many contributions made by all mothers. So the ritual of flowers started with Anna, sending carnations to a church service in West Virginia to honor her mother. Carnations were her mother's favorite flowers, and Anna felt that they symbolized a mother's pure love. Later, Anna, with her many supporters, wrote letters to many people in power, lobbying for the official declaration of Mother's Day as a real holiday. Their hard work paid off. By 1911, Mother's Day was celebrated in almost every state in the Union. And on May 8th, 1914, President Woodrow Wilson signed a joint resolution designating the second Sunday in May as Mother's Day. And here we are. It's Mother's Day. We are wishing all our mothers a happy day filled with joy and our gratitude. I, for one, am so appreciative of my own mother and her mother, my grandmother, mi abuela. She taught my mother, and then she taught me. And I am continuing the traditions with my own daughter. My grandmother had 14 children. I'm sure that she didn't have much time to herself. Married at 15, not allowed to finish school. She was resilient, tough, when she had to be, and always had loving arms for me. I remember her cooking tortillas, and as soon as they were made, they were eaten. There wasn't always a lot of food, but there was a lot of laughter and dancing. Now, in the early festivals of Greek and Romans, people would visit the temples of the goddesses and lay down their flowers that would best honor the mothers and their wives. So to honor my grandmother, What temple would I visit to lay down the flowers in her name? Well, the very first temple I would visit would be the Temple of Artemis. She was a warrior who looked after all women and children. And just like my grandmother, who was tough and resilient also, she looked out for us. There were a couple of times when someone was trying to take advantage of her children or me, and I was able to witness how she came out in fierce force and let them know that that was not going to happen for her family. I saw her with her armor on and her armor off. How she took care of her family, looking back, was amazing. All the things that she did. I remember this one time when I woke up early in the morning, because that was the time we were going to get ready to go out to work in the fields. My grandmother had breakfast ready for all of us and was wrapping up tacos, burritos, for us to have lunch while out in the fields. And I remember thinking, when did she wake up? It was still dark out. And I remember we had to be out in the fields by 5 o'clock. But she was not going to allow us to go hungry. That amazed me, how she had all of that drive and still stay home and take care of the little ones. Wow. The next temple that I would visit would be the Temple of Dancing. There were many weekends when we would clear all the furniture out of my grandmother's living room. And all my aunts and my uncles, my cousins, my family, we would be there dancing to the early morning. I saw laughter and joy in my grandmother's face during those times. And it brought joy to my remembering. So that today, on Mother's Day, I will dance with my mother with those memories in our hearts and how she brought that love of dancing into our family. Those times growing up were not always easy for her and her 14 children. I never knew her true strength until I had my own daughter and realized all that she gave willingly and openly. She survived many trials and tribulations at 15 until her late 70s. She taught me. She taught me, and I can hear it in my ears, that she always said God would provide. Her belief is why I would take flowers to the Mother Mary statues in our own church. Mother Mary reminded me of my grandmother's unconditional love, the true mother's love. The universal consciousness called out to my grandmother and said, "Here you go." And she squeezed everything she could for us and then made more. Spirit flowed, and then her soul added to our lineage of mothers, creating an infinity symbol upon my heart, opening a path for me to have the opportunity to stand in my own, to stand on my own 2 feet, to stand in my own power in ways that she was never allowed to. My mother today still carries that mantle of this great lineage, continuing to support her family and the great adventures that life will bring. God will provide as my grandmother, my mother, and now I live by those words I want to say thank you to all the mothers who were, who are, and who will be. May you always know you are appreciated and you are loved. I would like to end today by reading from Dennis Banks. I would like to give thanks for this reading. The elders say the women will lead the healing among the nations. We need to especially pray for our women and ask the Creator to bless them and give them strength. Inside them are powers of love and strength given by the moon and the earth. When everyone else gives up, it is the women who sing songs of strength. She is the backbone of the people. So to our women, we say, sing your songs of strength. Pray for your special powers. Keep our people strong. Let us be respectful and gentle. Great One, bless our women. Make them strong today. Aho. Amen. Ashe. Namaste. Peace be upon you. Happy Mother's Day, everyone. Munai.